six,
6 or 7
cons and there are 6 pros. So I'm gonna do cons first, and let's see here. So since we've moved to Germany,
Can I
still,
check? Are you sure?
really close. Yeah,
Okay.
y'all still see us.
Hopefully. I was like nervous.
All right, so cons.
This is my problem.
This is definitely her problem. I feel quite a bit different about it.
Wait.
But the Autobahn.
Okay. Most people who are from Texas, back in the States, usually would love to have a no limit speed to get into their destination. That is pretty much even city people. I'm sorry, that might sound bad, but I don't like it. I like the fact that. Well, explain the Autobahn, because I don't want to explain it and it be wrong.
Okay, so
What exactly is it?
most people think the Autobahn is pretty much a highway that has no speed limits whatsoever, and that's not exactly true. The Autobahn is like a interstate of a sort, and certain sections have speed limits. Certain sections don't have speed limits, but whenever there's certain types of weather or something like that, there are speed limits, and certain sections just don't have any speed limit at all. So the recommended speed on the Autobahn is about 120 kilometers an hour. But you can go.
That sounds scary, but it's not that scary. But it is scary.
It's like just under 70 miles, around 70 miles an hour.
So for me, that sounds scary. It's like, what?
70 to 80 miles an hour. So you can go as fast as you want. They recommend you go like 120. Whenever there's no speed limit, you can go as fast as you want and everything. But it definitely bothers her whenever we get going like 130, 140 kilometers.
I'd be like, Dalton, you're going too fast. There's
no speed limit.
But the fact of it is, that's my reaction. I'm going to react that way.
Or if it's 130 kilometers an hour, she starts getting uncomfortable. What's the speed limit? It's not 120. No, it's 130. You sure?
It's just, I've gotten better at it. Like, I've learned to just not say anything, just enjoy the ride and pray that we make it to our destination without no trouble. That's all I really can do. I do not like the fact that there is no like, hey, you have to go this speed limit. Because to be honest, it to me feels more safe for me. And I know some people out there probably think, well, y'all are lucky. Y'all live there. Y'all can talk. I would love to do that. And I know a lot of Texas people. I know a lot of my family members. Some of my family members would just love it. But for me, I've gotten better at it. I haven't hit them very much, except for just right there, and I'm sorry. But anyway, it's bittersweet. So.
The one thing I will say is that in the States there aren't a lot of speed cameras, and here in Germany there are a lot. They were all over the place, and they usually don't try and hide them. Sometimes they do, but you gotta make sure if in the States they don't.
Well,
they try and hide them more because there's less of them. But here they don't really try and hide them all that much.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because there's a lot of overpasses and stuff, and they'll have a big old box with the camera on it,
You're a watcher.
or the speed limit or whatever. But if there's a speed limit, then of course you want to make sure you're on the speed limit. If you're going too much over, you'll get flashed, is what they call it.
It's kind of scary too.
And then it gets your picture. But we haven't got flashed though.
But I've seen it happen.
So as long as you're doing the right thing, you don't have to worry about it. So good.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2, language barrier. So.
Why do you just look at me? It's
Well,
like,
I can talk about the language barrier.
Holly,
There's.
like, you're the problem, Holly.
There's a phrase. No. There's a phrase that I learned as soon as I got here, and it was "Sprechen Sie English." It's "Do you speak English?" And I learned to use this phrase and everything whenever I needed help or assistance or anything. And it's funny because usually whenever you approach a German and you try and speak their language, they're a little more willing to talk to you or
yeah.
But
or that y'all both can chuckle over how ridiculous you sound trying to speak German.
But whenever someone's like 9, then you're like,
really? No. And then they have to go find someone, and then you feel like an inconvenience. I feel like an inconvenience. It's like, oh, sorry.
I think you just worry too much.
I do. I worry a lot, and I feel bad because, just.
But anyways, so the language barrier though, they'll say like 9, no, I don't understand, or only speak a little and stuff, and a lot of the times they're full of it. They actually speak enough English to help you out or whatever. but there's sometimes when there's those few older generations that don't actually speak any English. So that's one of a little frustrating points sometimes, and sometimes it actually helps you whenever they're like nine no I don't know. You're like crap. Well, I have to remember what German I've learned. Ein. Oops, sorry, ein. Pommes frites. So, anything else about the language?
The only thing I was going to say was, like you said, some people say that they can't, and so it's like, and then like 5-10 minutes later they speak perfect. They say English, something in English perfectly, and it's like you just said you can't speak it, but yet you just spoke to me in English.
We had that happen before.
It's not as frustrating to me. Like if they don't want us to talk to us because we do speak English or because we are, that's fine. That's perfectly okay, because there's a lot of other people who actually try, and it's like a game. It's like we try to figure out what we're saying or what we need to get done or figured out. And to be honest, I think of it as I envy people who can speak 2 languages, and if you are a German who can speak English and German, I'm like, that's awesome, because I can't. All I know is English.
She's a little upset because we went to the store not too long ago and we asked a lady, we're in line and we needed some assistance because it was going to be a little troublesome trying to check out. So we're like, sprechen Sie English? And she's like, nein. And I was like, okay, well, can you help us with this? And she was like, oh, one moment. And then she goes and gets her colleague, and then her colleague, she's like explaining. She says like a couple words clearly in English, and she was like, she'll help you. It's like, I didn't need that much help. I just need a little bit. Come on, really? So it's a little frustrating sometimes. But
we do enjoy the fact that most people we do run into, they do legitly think it's really funny because we try to speak German, and they legitly are like, oh, okay, yeah, and they'll sit there and try, and we'll like play like charades, in a way.
No, usually a lot of them speak a lot of English, and some of them speak, some English and stuff, and it's really helpful, and I think that they appreciate that we try and speak their language.
Yeah, and I think that
they try and help us out as well and stuff. So, anything else?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay, number 3, everything is closed on Sundays. Just about everything. So this is something that I've coped with. It took a little bit of getting used to it first. It was like, hey, let's go do this.
What day is it?
Sunday, crap, can't do that. But how has this bothered you?
It hasn't really, sometimes during the week you forget what day it is, and if you're crunched for time and you need to do something and it is Sunday, it's like, oh crap, we can't get that, or we can't do this, or it's just kind of like ugh. But usually I've gotten kind of used to it, and I've definitely been double checking when it's Saturday. Okay, we need everything Saturday and not because we don't have to deal with the day, Sunday. I'm pretty much okay with it now. So.
Alright, number 4, no Dr. Pepper, which is not quite 100% true because
we found
only one store
that we found so far
in Europe that I found so far. Actually, I think I found some in England too, but that's a long ways away from here. But yeah, in Germany we found one store that's right down the road that has a very small selection of Dr. Pepper. But other than that, we haven't found any anywhere.
Usually it's Pepsi or Dr. Pepper, that's my favorite. And mainly people here is Coke.
Most of Europe, most of the world drinks Coke.
And I've gotten used to the fact that, okay, we can't get that, whatever. But, every so often we run into a Pepsi or Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's very exciting. It's like getting a present.
Okay, so you're going to feel very strongly about this next one. Number 5, no parking.
You always look at me.
So we, the biggest issue that we've actually had with this one is our first day going to a doctor's appointment. We found the doctor, we talked to the doctor, we made the appointment and everything, and we showed up like 45 minutes early for the appointment, and we tried to find somewhere to park, and there was no parking. There's a private lot for the employees that worked in the doctor's office. However, whenever we tried to find parking, we couldn't get in there because it's a private parking area. We ended up having to park at a nearby mall with the parking garage, and we had to pay for the parking there.
That wasn't very expensive though.
It wasn't that expensive, no, but we had to get used to parking there, and it's a little bit of a walk to get there. But the local parking near there was like a outdoor store, like biking store, something like that, and we can't park there or else they'll get our car towed. There was a local residence parking area, and you can't park there unless you have the sticker saying that you're a resident in that area. So that was the most frustrating thing that we had to deal with. Is we're almost late for our appointment. We had to find somewhere to park, and we couldn't find anywhere to park.
We've gotten better at it, but now that we actually go to different places and towns, we legitimately have to go on the hunt for a parking spot. And because we are from Texas, we're so used to having like this much space for our car. Like,
extra.
Yeah, like just
extra space for a car.
Like big space. And with Germany, it's like find a spot. You know.
There's a lot of room in Texas around all the buildings and stuff.
Yes.
And in the States in general, there's a lot of, it's all spread out. And here in Germany and in Europe in general, most of the places, everything's cram-packed into one area. Alright, so number 6, BO, body odor. So we had to deal with this a little bit with some of the movers and stuff, some of the guys bringing up appliances that we've gotten, a bed that we got off of the economy. And many of them had BO, body odor. I don't know if it's a cultural thing, if they don't wear deodorant, or if they just didn't take a shower, or what. It's only been a handful of times that we've dealt with this, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, for me, it's a big difference, and to me, it's a kind of a big deal, just because, you know, since growing up, it was kind of a mandatory thing. You have to have good hygiene, and that right there, not having your body odor like fill up a room or sick, you're the one who does not smell like you have good hygiene. It's just, that's the way I was raised, and I remember having to constantly be told, hey, you know, whenever I got at a certain age, I had to learn how to do it and everything, and I now I will never leave the house without it on. And that's just because that's the way I was raised, and it's kind of an irritating thing for me. I don't like smelling someone else's BO. I just don't like it. So. Which
we understand, it's a cultural thing. Certain cultures, they don't, you know, wear deodorant or whatever.
Yeah.
So it
like
just
Body Works, whatever you wash your body with, that's it.
So, but we understand it's a cultural thing. So certain cultures they do, and certain cultures they don't. But we don't really know if here in Germany it is a cultural thing or not. So that's something we're still trying to figure out. But alright, pros.
Yay. So, pros. Number 1, the Autobahn. That's mainly your pro.
So, the Autobahn, we talked about it earlier a little bit. It's nice because there are certain sections that don't have speed limits or anything, and certain sections do and stuff. And it's nice because, you know, if you feel like you're comfortable going faster and it's going to be more efficient or whatever it may be, you can go faster. And if you feel like you need to go slower for whatever reason, as long as you're not going too slow, it's absolutely fine as well. So it's like having big boy rules. If you want to go fast, then it's up to you, as long as you don't mess up. Whenever you mess up, then you're going to have to pay the price for it. So
yeah, that's
basically why I feel like the Autobahn's such a great pro. Especially it's fun with the motorcycle, getting it out. Not going too fast because it gets scary going on a motorcycle.
It's snowing. I don't know if you can see it, but it's snowing.
They can't really see that much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Number 2, good Asian food.
So you really like the fried rice.
Yes.
And I like the
noodles.
The fried noodles. There's quite a few different Asian foods around here, Thai food, you know, stuff like that. It's very common. I guess Germans really love the donors, and then the Asian food, the Turkish doner, kebab stands, and Asian. But we've really enjoyed the Asian food. It's very I've never been to Asia, so I don't know if it's very authentic, but it's probably more authentic than what we're used to in the States. It's very good. It's very fresh.
It's not fried chicken though.
And they don't. She's upset because they don't have her sesame chicken. She can't go anywhere and find sesame chicken.
Yeah, like really. Number 3, very friendly.
All right. So most of the Germans that we've interacted with are very friendly. They're nice. They try and help out however they can. You know. Usually, if you approach them, whatever, they'll just they'll do their best to help you out if they can, and if not, they'll try and get you help. There have been a couple of Germans that have been not so helpful, kind of like the one we talked about earlier. That was like, oh no, I don't speak English, and speak a handful of English words very clearly, like you're fluent in English. It's frustrating, but for the most part, we're very friendly. Yeah.
Already? Oh. Okay. I haven't had any issues with people, asking and talking. Everyone seemed pretty friendly. It's just there's only like a handful of group of people who's like, well, you speak English, I don't want to deal with that, so I'm just gonna get you somewhere else to help you. And that's fine, but it kind of becomes inconvenient, not just for that person, but also for us and the people who are like waiting in line behind us or something. Just it always inconveniences someone. But overall, we've had pretty much a good experience with talking and being friendly with Germans and stuff. Okay, number 4, very clean. I have to say, to be honest, it is very clean. Just going outside, they usually always have it nice and clean. The only thing that I don't know if it would count as clean or not, they rarely, like we would go through town and stuff, and they would have like knee-high grass and stuff. And to be honest, sometimes I realize that maybe it's like a thing where they only do it at a certain time of the month they only do yard work or whatever. But overall, there's like not really trash or anything like building up anywhere, and it seems like it's pretty clean. It's just the only thing it is the landscape, keeping that all nice and pretty.
And we get to experience that they're typically clean in the streets and the roads and everything all year long, except for one time of the year, which is New Year's. They go absolutely crazy on New Year's, and for the week after that, you'll see all kinds of stuff everywhere, just from all of the fireworks and stuff that were shut off and everything, just kind of laying around. And they'll eventually clean it up, but that's one of the things that they leave around, and that's the only time of year we've seen that they aren't very clean in the streets and stuff.
We do have our son right here, so if you hear fussing and getting upset, it's because he woke up early from his nap. So, and everything, so yeah. We have a couple more left and then we're done. Number 5, most Germans speak English.
So that's a good thing, like we talked about earlier, the problem with speaking, with the language barrier and everything else. It's helped out a lot. Sometimes, we just need help with something. We can't find something. We're trying to find, a certain item, or we're trying to order food, and not being able to speak the language is a big problem whenever you're trying to order something that's essential, like food, or whenever you're trying to get an item that you really need, like for instance electronics. I was having an issue. But whenever they can speak the same language as you, it makes things just so much easier. You don't realize it until you have to deal with not being able to speak the same language. So, anything else you want to add to that?
It's very convenient when you try to find someone that can. It's like I feel like I'm like an inconvenience to people sometimes because. It's a great convenience to have someone to speak English and to know what you're talking about, and that is kind of a big relief for me. So that's one thing that I've been getting nervous about, or I would get upset about, or something, because I feel like it's my fault and whatever, something like that. It's just a feeling I get. But now that I've gotten a couple of months in, used to hearing it, talking, everything, all that stuff about. Learning the language and stuff, and it has been kind of fun to hear people talk and everything and all that. So, like I said, it's very, I don't know how to describe it, but it's nice to hear people to try to speak English, and it's kind of like something I'm saying. Well, hey, I'm kind of jealous that they can speak 2 languages because I can't, and we do try to speak and learn different words in German to help us to be able to do it, to communicate and to understand each other. Number 6, they have a McDonald's and Burger King here in Germany. They probably have it in different places too. But I, of course, figured they were going to have a McDonald's because I think everywhere in this world Sorry.
All over the world they have
Pretty
McDonald's.
much McDonald's, yeah. We might even insert our clip that we have of us going to McDonald's to show the comparison to being in the U.S. and being in Germany and the difference between them. We've only been to Burger King once, and they're pretty good. Other than that, I'm happy that they have McDonald's here because it's like kind of a relief because it's what we grew
familiar.
up. I grew up at McDonald's and Burger King as a kid, and so it kind of like it's a good feeling to know that you have something that
Something
you grew up
familiar.
with,
It's nice to have something familiar you're used to.
Yeah.
So, alright. So that's our 6 cons and our 6 pros. Leave comments below. Let us know what you thought about it. Don't forget to like the video, and don't forget to watch the video after this. We're going to have a link at the end of this video to watch the other pros and cons videos. If you haven't watched it yet, on the link at the beginning of this video, you can watch that. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys. Bye.